Paper 2, question 3. So in this question, you're being asked to analyse the writer's use of language, and you'll be given a focus. And in this case, the focus is how is language used to describe the power of the sea. So you need to take your highlighter and make sure you have focused in on the key words. So language and the power of the sea. You also need to make sure that you're focusing in exactly on the lines that you've been given. So again, take your highlighter there, lines 16 to 26, to make sure that you don't write about a quotation that falls out with those lines, because you won't get any marks for that. So you know you're going to be analysing language. This means that you need to be using your subject terminology and looking for quotations where you have something to say about the word choice or the technique. Now this is a 12-minute question, that 12-mark question, which means you need to spend between 12 and 15 minutes max answering this question. So you need to turn to your source and rule off the lines 16 to 26 nice and clearly, so you don't accidentally write about the wrong section. So take your highlighter now, and you need to look for quotations that tell you something about the power of the sea. So scanning through, there are quite a few that you could choose from here. This question was answered well. And the first one that I notice is this metaphor, that the waves are like a wall of white water towering over our tiny boat. So being described as a wall tells me that this is a metaphor. So I've got my technique, and then I want my annotation to also include my inference. So if the wave is like a wall, that suggests to me that the wave is very tall, and also that it is impassable, something that you can't get past like a wall. So it's tall and impassable. And then looking back for another quotation, I notice this personification, moving backwards as we were sucked into the belly of the wave. So giving the wave a belly is personifying it, so identify the technique, personification, and again, write down what your inference is. So this suggests to me that it's the water is something which can consume you, like being taken into the belly of a monster or a person. So the waves can consume you, and that there is something monstrous about the water being described as having a belly. So it is monstrous. And I also notice this adjective here, lots of people zoomed in on this, the bottomless Atlantic Ocean. So that adjective to me suggests something about the fear of never escaping it, that it is so deep that it is bottomless. So the water is very deep, and that is frightening. And one more, difficult to miss, that simile at the end there, that they were spun around roughly like clothes in a washing machine. So that simile suggests that the power of the water is so extreme that it will roughly throw people around who get caught in it. So that it's a very extreme power. And perhaps also that people are helpless, a little bit like the clothes in the machine. Against the power of the water, we are helpless. So I've done my annotation, got a couple of quotations that are showing a range of different language techniques. Now have a look at an answer. So again, because you're analysing language, you're going for a condensed C structure, like most of the questions on the language papers. So the writer effectively portrays the intimidating power of the sea through the metaphor a wall of white water, suggesting that the waves are so vast and tall that they create a blockade that will stop the men in their boat from passing. So I've got my language terminology, my quotation, and I'm responding to the question by saying that the power of the sea is intimidating, that the waves are vast, the waves are tall, and they act as a blockade. So I have a range of inferences, my language terminology, and my quotation. And then you need, in the time given, we said that's between 12 and 15 minutes, you need to explore as many quotations as you can in that swift and succinct manner. That's how you do question 3.